What's up, guys? It is a lovely Thursday. What is going on? Let's try that again. What's up, guys? It is a lovely Thursday afternoon. Chad Walls in here, Coach Gibb 23. How you doing? We got a cool show tonight, so we just launched a new tournament idea. I'm super, super stoked about. We are going to dig into that. We're going to dig into our normal Sandusky event. We're going to dig in our Indian Lake event. We're going to dig into Gallipolis. We've got a long show ahead of us. What's up, Mike Greenwell? How you doing? We got a long show ahead of us, but as always, let's get started with the way we start every show off, and let's look at some cool pictures from this past year.
Well, grab your boat and pole. Like Dylan, it depends on how you're feeling. It's the Middle Ohio Catfish Tournament Trail. It don't cost much to enter. You may just be a winner. That's the Middle Ohio Catfish Tournament Trail. That's the Middle Ohio Catfish Tournament Trail. Come on down and join us, you hear?
All right, like I said, we've got a lot to talk about tonight, a lot of cool stuff going on. Man, I really don't even know where to start. So as people start funneling in here, we will start off. Let's start off talking about the Gallipolis event. I got almost everybody's shirt sizes. I could put the shirt order in. I had to guess for a couple people. So if you guys didn't get back with me with your shirt size, I guessed. I'm not a good guesser, I'm not going to lie, but I ordered plenty of extra larges, double X's, and 2X's, or double X's and 3X. So I should have a shirt that'll fit somebody, unless you're a micro and you need a small or a medium. I may not have one that'll fit you. We're going to have to go with a large. I waited 2 weeks for everybody's shirt sizes, and then I went ahead and ordered them because we're getting to crunch time. I have to have them. So with that being said, I did order several extra sets of shirts. And the reason I did that, one is in case people want to purchase more shirts at the event, there'll be some there. But more than likely what's going to happen is there's going to be some people that waited this thing out and they kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And then the day before the tournament, they decide they want to fish it. So if you're that guy, that's no problem at all. We have shirts. Come on over to the captain's meeting, which that stuff will be posted next week, where the captain's meeting is, what time and everything. Bugman, how you doing? And with that, we will have extra shirts. We will have everything you need there to sign up if you did not sign up before the tournament. I figured we'd have, I don't know, a dozen people or so that may want to do that. So I bought plenty of shirts in case. If we run out of shirts, that's fine too. If you sign up the day of, there is going to be a $5 fee assessed to it, only because we waited till the day of to sign up. And if we run out of shirts, we're going to use that money to ship the shirts to you. So to recap that, if you got me your shirt size, great, you're in. You still have time to get me your shirt size too. They're not printing them until next week. So if you get them to me by Monday, we can get your shirt sizes. You're signed up beforehand. If you sign up beforehand, but it's too late to order shirts, no problem. If you sign up the day of the tournament, there's an extra $5 fee per team that signs up the day of the tournament. Because at the captain's meeting, I'm going to have everything ready. I'm going to have everybody's names on the papers. I'm going to have everybody's names on the rules. I'm going to be handing out packets. If you sign up, which, again, if you want to, that's no problem at all. But then I'm going to have to put a packet together, get your name on it, get your ribbon, and it's going to cause a little bit of a delay. So we did decide that we were going to do a $5 fee if you show up to the captain's meeting to sign up at this first event at Gallipolis. So if you guys want to do that, again, no problem. I'll have plenty of shirts there. If we run out of shirts, you can still buy in, and I'll order you a shirt and ship it to you. So now that that's over, let's talk about our length division. I want to do this. I want to point something out about the length division because I keep getting questions. Our length division is bank, boat, kayak, right? So no matter how you fish, bank, boat, or kayak, you're welcome to fish our length division. The way the length division works is you catch fish, you lay it on a measuring board, whether that measuring board be most likely they will all be musky bumpers. So we're ordering a bunch of stickers. We're going to make our own boards with their stickers. We're going to have plenty of boards to lend out. So you'll lay the fish on the board, you take a picture, you submit it through an app. That's how the link division works. Now, I've had a lot of questions about the link division on if 2 people in a boat can fish it. In most link divisions, they don't allow that, right? It's 1 angler, 3 rods, 1 vessel, and that's it. I've gone to the board because I understand a lot of you guys are going to be coming to our boat event, and you may stay over. If we have a link division on Sunday, you may stay over and want to fish, and you traveled there with a partner. So what we have decided to do, now I understand these situations are not favorable. We did this just so if people wanted to fish, there was an avenue. If you want to stay over and fish the link division, which is typically fished by 1 person out of a kayak or 1 person on the bank, but you have 2 people in your boat, that's fine. Both people have to pay an entry fee, but it's still only 1-man rules. You still only get 3 rods, and you take the picture on the board. You're paying $50 to have an extra person in the boat because you don't like fishing alone, or you want somebody to help you out, or you want somebody to net your fish, whatever that reason may be. If you want to fish the length division out of your boat, you're more than welcome to, and you can have an extra person in your boat, but you have to understand that you're going to have to pay $50 for that person to enter the tournament. The reason being is it would be an unfair advantage for the guys on the kayaks with 3 rods and 1 net, and they're doing everything, and they're netting their own fish. They're taking pictures of their own fish. So they said, yeah, we're fine with letting somebody come on the boat with boat anglers to do the length division so that they have 2 people, but we still only want 3 rods, and the other person has to pay an entry fee to be on the boat helping. Then we can't argue about who caught the fish. We can't argue about who netted the fish. We can't argue about who took the picture. You guys can fish as a team. It'll just be $50 per angler to do so. I wanted to get that out there because I had a lot of questions about how we were going to do that on our length division. And a lot of people wanted to be able to fish 2 people on their boat. So yes, you can fish the length division, 2 people on your boat, 3 rods max, both people pay an entry fee, and then you can fish the length division. Now that that's out of the way, our normal Sandusky event, the one that we're going to go up there, we're going to have a regular boat tournament, and then the following day we're going to have a length tournament. We have a sponsor, which I just sent my signed contract back today. I'm waiting for them to 100% say we're a go. Crappie Barbecue, how you doing? I'm waiting for them to say that we're good to go. We have a sponsor for both sides. We have a sponsor for the boat. We have a sponsor for the kayak division or the length division. The boat sponsor gave $4,000. So there will be $4,000 added to the Sandusky tournament before any entry fees are paid at all. You'll have the pot is already at $4,000 for that event. On the length division side, that pot is already at $1,500 before the first entry fee goes into it. Also, we're going to be running a longest sheep head. We can't do weight because it takes the length side out of it, so we're doing longest. Longest sheep head measured on an approved board, which what you'll do is you'll bring your board to the captain's meeting if you want to get into that. I will use my board to check it to make sure your measurements are the exact same as mine. You'll have to sign up for this on an app, and then you'll submit pictures of the longest sheep head on the app while you're fishing. So that is going to be $10 to get in. But before the first person pays $10 to get into it, that is already at $1,500. So right now, the length division already has $1,500 in the prize pool for Sandusky. The largest sheep head already has $1,500 in the prize pool for Sandusky. And the boat division tournament already has $4,000 in the prize pool for Sandusky for our normal event. Meaning, let's just throw some numbers out there so we can get easy math, right? If we get 100 anglers, right? 100 anglers at $100 each, the prize pool would be $14,000 on the boat side. That would pay 5 places. I don't have the breakdown in my head, but we'd be fishing for $14,000 for the weekend because of the added $4,000 instead of fishing for $10,000 because there's only 100 anglers at $100. So I really want that normal Sandusky. We're not talking about the new one yet. The normal Sandusky event on May the 4th and May the 5th. May the 4th is the boat tournament. May the 5th is the length tournament. So on our normal Sandusky event, the entry fee is $100. We fish 8 hours. You bring your 3 biggest fish to the scales. And then, like I said, the length tournament the next day where you take a picture on a board, submit it through an app. That's the length division in Sandusky because I've had a lot of questions about this. Boat, bank, or kayak. Anybody can fish the length division. You just have to come see me and get a board or let me check your board. There's some boards we're not going to allow. So if you have a board that you want to use, send me a picture and message me. I'll let you know if it works. If not, you just have to use one of ours. The sheephead is both days. So the boat guys and the length guys get a crack at the longest sheephead. Remember, longest sheephead, not the most weight, the longest sheephead. And the reason I'm doing that is there's some kayakers that kayak walleye fish that want to participate in our catfishing event. Anybody who wants to participate in that longest sheephead also has to fish either the boat tournament or the length tournament. So either way, you have to put entry money into the catfishing tournament, and then you can pay the extra $10 to get into the sheephead. So it's freshwater drum sheephead. That's what they're called. Justin, our boards, we're going to charge $10 to rent them. So that longest sheephead is both tournaments, and it will be concluded at the end of the length tournament. Now, with that being said, I highly advise the boat guys that fish on Saturday to also fish on Sunday, because we're allowing you to have partners. Now, even so, again, one person rules, 3 rods. We already went over that at the beginning of this video. But and you can have 3 people if you want, just everybody in the boat has to pay an entry fee. And you're only allowed 3 rods in the length division. It's one-man rules no matter how many people are in your boat. So why not fish Saturday, stay over, fish Sunday, try to win them both and the sheephead. You're walking out of there with crazy money. I think it'd be great. I've talked to Tosh a little bit. He's been really busy. We are planning still our event in June, on June the 8th. I think it's the 8th at Indian Lake. Obviously, with the storms and everything that hit up there, we believe that the lake will be reopened by June. I don't think there's going to be any issues there. As we get closer, we'll make sure and we'll put out updates. But the single reason why 21 people are in here watching right now, because I would almost guarantee you guys have seen my post on Facebook. Let's talk about what everyone's here to talk about, right? Let's talk about the King of the Bay Channel Cat Challenge. This is an idea that I drummed up on the phone with Steve Hammer from the Sandusky Bait Company a couple nights ago. I've talked to several of my board members and tried and kind of got input from them. We were able to line some sponsors up. And let me tell you guys how this is going to work with the sponsors. The King of the Bay Channel Cat Challenge Tournament. We've lined up sponsors that guarantee the money. And what that means is we are collecting an entry fee per angler, $50 to enter. That $50 then sits in an account. It goes, which will be held probably by the Sandusky Bait Company. We'll get all that money together. It'll all sit there. If we don't get 300 anglers to cover the $15,000, we have sponsors in the background that say they will guarantee the rest of it, right? So say we only get 200 anglers and we're $5,000 short. Well, those sponsors would then put money into it to guarantee $15,000. I wanted to clarify that because I had a question about it earlier. Yes, they have all said, yes, we will put $15,000 up to guarantee those prizes. But in order for that to happen, there would be nobody signed up. If they have to give all $15,000, that means not one of you guys signed up, and the tournament never happened anyway, so they wouldn't be given $15,000. They are just guaranteeing that they will cover the gap, whatever the gap is. And on the same side, just so we're 100% upfront and clear, if we go over 300 anglers, that would then equal more than $15,000. That money then becomes income for the tournament trail. And what you guys don't see on the back end of the tournament trail is we buy scales, we have to put up the upfront money for jerseys and hoodies. We have to pay a lie detector test. We all, like all the directors, we have travel expenses to and from. So yes, if we go over 300 entries, whatever's over that in this tournament, in this one Sandusky Bay Challenge, if we go over 300 entries, the rest of that would then become income that would go into the trail, which would then be later. It would cover all of our expenses, and it will be put back into the trail. None of us make $1 from this trail. All of us spend money on this trail, actually. So I wanted to clarify that because it wasn't up for 2 minutes before I had a question about that. So I wanted to clarify that. I hope we get 1,000 entries. That'd be cool. Then we could buy a trailer to have as a stage. I mean, that's kind of where we're thinking. This is an event that we can use. If we get more than 300 participants, we can then use that money to upgrade our equipment. We can get nicer scales. We can get a new trailer to make as a stage. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that we'll be able to do if it happens. If it doesn't happen, no problem. We're still out there all fishing for $10,000 for the biggest channel cat in the bay. So as that goes, it's going to start in the middle of May. It's going to run till the middle of July. In that period, of when the tournament's open. You'll be out fishing the bay. You catch a fish. You think it's worthy of being weighed. Doesn't matter how big it is. If you want it weighed, go weigh it. You have to take it to the Sandusky Bait Company. And at the Sandusky Bait Company, they will have the tournament official scale. They will have a metal detector. And the person running the scale will be keeping track of all the fish that's weighed for the day. At the end of the day, I will get that list. All the fish that were weighed, who weighed them, how much they weighed, if they passed the metal detector test, and they'll get sent to me. I will then take that information, transfer it onto a live leaderboard that you guys will be able to check every day. It'll be updated every day before 10 a.m. So if you check it at 10 a.m., any fish that's caught the day before will be updated on there. Yes, so the same person can win first and second place. That was a question that was asked to me earlier too. If you catch, I honestly believe it's going to take a fish that's 30.5 pounds to 31.5 pounds to win. Say you catch 2 30-pounders. You could win both places, but remember that you're going to be lie detectored and they're going to check your fish with metal detectors. We're going to do everything we can, obviously, to ensure the integrity of the fishing. We want everything to go smooth. The rule sheet be coming out. I'm typing it now, we're playing with the rules. We're making sure that we have everything, and it will be posted soon. But yes, the same person can win first and second place. If you catch 2 30-pound fish, then absolutely you could win. One thing to keep in mind, if you're going to fish this event out of a boat, make sure that anybody you're going to fish with in the entire turn, if you're sitting there like me, I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm going to fish this. I fish with Tony. I fish with Chris. I fish with Dan. I fish with Tyler. All of those guys have to be in the tournament, because if you're out there with somebody who's not entered in the tournament and you catch a fish that could win it, you just cost yourself 10 grand because the other person in the boat is not registered. So if there is a chance, I don't care if it's Grandma Lucy, if there is a chance Grandma Lucy is going to be on your boat from May to June catfishing with you in the Sandusky Bay and you signed up for the tournament, you better go ahead and sign Grandma Lucy up too, because I promise you it'll be the day you take Grandma fishing that you catch a fish that'll win that thing, and you can't turn it in because the other person on your boat was not signed up for the tournament. Here's why. I had some questions at why we did it that way. Say me and Jacob are out fishing. I'm in the tournament. Jacob's not in the tournament. We have 6 rods on the back of the boat. My 3 rods would technically be in the tournament because I paid to get in the tournament. I'm allowed to use 3 rods. Jacob's up on the front of the boat. Jacob's left rod gets smoked. I go reel it in. It's a 31-pound fish. Well, technically, I caught it, right? So I'm going to try to turn it into the tournament. But the issue then becomes, if I didn't have Jacob on the boat because he's not registered in the tournament, I would have only been fishing with 3 rods on the right side of the boat, and I may not have caught that fish. Since I reeled that fish in on Jacob's rod, Jacob wasn't in the tournament. Those rods shouldn't even be in my boat, right? So that's the reason we did it. It just takes all the gray area out. Or same thing. I'm up at the front of the boat. My rod gets smoked. Jacob, who's not in the tournament, reels it in. It's a 31-pound fish. I'm going to feel inclined to weigh it in. But Jacob wasn't in the tournament, and he reeled it in, even though it was on my rod, So there's a hard gray area there that we are going to 100% avoid by saying, if you're out fishing this event, everybody in your boat has to be registered for the tournament. That takes away all of that. That can't happen. So, again, like I said, I don't care if it's Grandma Lucy. If you and Grandma Lucy love catfishing, then I say you better get Grandma signed up. Now, another side of that, you're out fishing at midnight and you catch a fish. It's 32 pounds. The bank fishermen are where this is going to hurt, right? Because the Sandusky Bait Company's not open at midnight. I can't expect Steve to wake up at midnight and drive down and weigh your fish. Now, if you catch the state record, if you got a 38-pound channel cat, blow me up until I wake up, because then I'm going to blow Steve up until he wakes up, and somebody is going to get down there to weigh your fish. If I got to drive 2 hours to do it, I will. But if you catch a fish in the middle of the night and it's a contender, you're going to have to find a way to keep that fish alive. The one thing I don't want to do is see dead fish, right? Just like in my regular tournament, dead fish is going to get you disqualified from this event. We don't want anybody killing any fish. If you catch a fish in the middle of the night, what I suggest you do, say you're a bank fisherman, go buy yourself a 150-quart cooler. 150-quart cooler with a bubbler, and set it right next to you while you're fishing. You catch a 28, 30-pound fish, you want to have it weighed, fill that cooler up with water, turn your bubblers on, put the fish in it. Every 30 minutes or so, take a 5-gallon bucket, scoop 5 gallons out, dump it in the lake, put 5 gallons back in. Remember, it is on you guys to keep those fish alive. If you catch one that can win you 10 grand, I would stop fishing and I'd make sure that dang fish stays alive. If I got to take him home and put him in my bathtub and turn the water on so he's got fresh water all the time, I'm going to make sure that fish stays alive. It is 100% on the angler to keep that fish alive. When you bring that fish to weigh it in at the Sandusky Bait Company, they're going to weigh it. They're going to scan it with a metal detector. They're then going to take it out. They're going to set it in the water, and they're going to make sure that fish swims away. If you fail the scan, disqualified. Fish is dead when it gets there, disqualified. Fish does not swim off, disqualified. Make sure you do everything in your power to keep that fish alive, and you can do it. I got guys that fish out of coolers in my tournaments, and they keep fish alive for 8 hours all the time. It just takes work. Take the cooler, 150 quart, make sure you're cycling water, make sure you got a bubbler in it, and that fish will stay healthy all night, until 7, 8, 9 in the morning, whenever the Sandusky Bait Company opens. We're still talking through that when they're going to open. Again, if for whatever reason the fish is struggling, call me. I'll call, see if I can't get Steve up. We may be able to work something out, and we may be able to get somebody there. But that's kind of like the boy who called wolf scenario. You do that too many times, we're just not going to answer the phone to you the next time. So that is for emergency situations only, when a big fish is in distress and going to die, and you got to get it weighed quick. We might be able to work something out. What's next? So we covered that it's bait, boat, or kayak, bank boat or kayak. We covered keeping it alive. The payouts. So first place is guaranteed $10,000. What's up, Spencer? First place is guaranteed $10,000. If you catch a fish, and in the middle of July, when we end this tournament, I don't know what the date is. Let's say it's July 10th. On July 10th, we are going to reconcile the whole list. We're going to look at the list to make sure that we didn't miss anything. We are then going to take that list. We're going to move it over to a final PDF format, and we're going to post it. These are your winners. These are the places. We will then call the top 4 to come for lie detector test. The reason we're going to do the top 4 is because if number 1 fails, then and number 2 passes, number 2 moves up to number 1, and we then have to lie detector number 3 for number 2. So we're going to call the top 4. Top 4 places are going to get plaques. Only the top 2 places get paid. Number 1, $10,000. Number 2, $5,000. Number 3, number 4, you get plaques. Top placing youth is going to get in the whole tournament. If you have your boy out, he catches a 30-pound fish, bring it in. He catches a 28-pound fish, whatever it is. Top placing youth is going to get a free Ohio fishing license, a lifetime fishing license. If for whatever reason you're not from Ohio, which I'm sure we'll have people from out of state travel to this. If you're not from Ohio, then you'll get a Bass Pro gift card equivalent of the amount that it cost us to buy a youth fishing license. I don't know what that amount is. I've talked to Tosh. But that's what we're doing for the youth. Top placing veteran gets $100. You get double your money. So if you're a veteran, I would turn them in. When you weigh your fish, you have to let them know you're a veteran so they can mark it, so that when I put it on the sheet, it shows veteran. Top placing veteran wins $100. It wins your money plus $50 back. So in review, right? Talked about a lot of stuff tonight. In review, the King of the Bay Channel Cat Challenge. Never done before on the bay as far as I can find. They do something similar for walleye called the fall brawl, the walleye fall brawl. It pays astronomical money, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not saying this one can't get there as it grows throughout the years. This is our first year. We'll see what happens, and then we'll move on. I'm sure we'll move on to bigger and better sponsors as we go. They ended up landing Cabela's, I think, which bought the fall brawl. So we don't know where this thing's going to go. This is our first year for it. Again, Steve and I were just chatting on the phone, and I was like, dude, we need to do something like this. And he's like, why have we not already done it? So King of the Bay, the Channel Cat Challenge. That's what the tournament's called. You're going to fish from the middle of May to the middle of July. And in that time period, you're going to try to catch the biggest channel cat out of the bay. As I said, I believe it's going to take a 30.5 to a 31.5 pound fish to win this thing. I could be wrong. Maybe a 38 pounder is swimming out there. We do have a sponsor. If you break the state record while fishing this tournament, if you're fishing this tournament and you break the state record channel cat, don't quote me on this, it's 37, I think. and you break the state record channel cat and you weigh it in as the winning fish of this event, you get an extra $1,000. If you win using a TFR, if you win using a toughest frickin' rods, Justin has agreed to give you 2 BFEs if you win using a TFR. If what else was there? Oh no, Jeremy, there are not hybrid channels out there. The fish must come from the Sandusky Bay. That is the mouth of the lake all the way up to the Sandusky River over there by Fremont? The bay. It has to come from the Sandusky Bay. One of the questions on the lie detector test when you win will say, was this fish legally caught in the confinement of the Sandusky Bay? You can't go out in the lake. You can't go up into the rivers. It is only the bay. And it's channel cat only. Can't bring a flathead to the scales. It is only channel cats from the Sandusky Bay, from the boat, from the bank, from the kayak, from the John boat, from the canoe, from the truck sitting on the overpass. I don't care how or where you catch it, as long as it is in the bay. The weight at the Sandusky Bait Company will be the official weight. If your scale says it was 39 pounds, but the scale at the Sandusky Bait Company says it was 36 pounds, then we're going off of the Sandusky Bait scales. They use those same scales in the fall brawl for walleye. They were a check-in station for that. So we're going to use their scales. I'm going to build them a box that's like my box that sits on their scale, and they will, whatever weight comes up on that screen when an employee or myself or Steve from the Sandusky Bait Company weighs it, that is the official weight. There's no contesting that weight. They will all be weighed the exact same way with the exact same stuff in the exact same order. You're going to bring them in a tote, a cooler, a bag, whatever you bring them in. Just make sure they're in water. Make sure they're alive, because if they die, you're disqualified. You're going to set them on the counter. First thing we're going to do is swipe them with the metal detector. Make sure it doesn't go off. Obviously, if it goes off at the mouth and there's a hook in there, that doesn't disqualify you. Everybody knows what we're looking for. We will then take that fish out of that, put it in our basket, hands off. The weight will come up. It will set at the weight. So it'll start calculating the weight. It will then lock on the weight. Whatever that weight is, you're going to stand next to the thing, take a picture of the weight with you standing next to whoever caught the fish standing next to it. There will then be a form that they fill out. That David Rudder came in today. Today's date. This is how big his fish is. It was caught in Sandusky Bay. David signs it. Whoever's at the counter signs it. It gets put in a book. They write down on the list, David Rudder, the weight. They send it to me. I then, at the end of the day, when I get home from work, whenever, before 10 a.m. the next day, right after midnight, whatever time it is, I then update the live leaderboard that will be updated every day. So you will know every single day, you'll know if you're in the running to win this thing or not. Registration. We'll be setting up a website. I'm going to try to do it tonight. I got home late from work, so I got a bunch of stuff to do here. I'm going to try to do it tonight. You're going to register on there. None of my other tournaments you have to pay up front. None of them. This one, you have to. The money is going to, like I said, it'll be held most likely by the Sandusky Bait Company. It's $50 per person. You're going to do a registration online. You're going to fill it out. You're going to pay your $50 fee. There will be a 3% processing fee, which 3% of $5 is what? Or $50, that's $5. It's 50 cents, $1.50. So you're going to be like, you're probably going to be $51, $50, $52 is a processing fee. All of that money then, like I said, goes into account at the Sandusky Bait Company. It's held. As you sign up, I will get a notification. You will then be added to where we're going to do the live leaderboard. So the second you sign up, I'm going to get a notification. Within an hour, you'll be added to the list. That list will just concurrently run the entire tournament. That list will never change. And the registration end date, which will be in the middle of May, probably May 10th, I think we're going to run it from now until May 10th for the registration, I think is what we said. And then the tournament may start on like May 15th. And it'll run like May 15th to July 15th. That's our plan. We're still working a couple things out. But once you register, your name goes on the list. And on May 15th, midnight, May 15th, right? So you're May 14th, 11:59. It clicks over to midnight, May 15th. You can start fishing. You can then fish until 11:59 on July 15th. Once it rolls over to July 16th, you're done fishing. That's when we'll calculate everything up. That's when we'll select the winners. I believe there's going to be sponsors that are going to jump in this thing throughout the whole thing. So halfway through, it may be like, hey, if you get 5th place, such and such said they're giving this away for 5th place. What if someone is using a diff bait and it swallows the hook and it broke off? The reason I ask is I've had a lot of channels swallow hooks, and I mean, it could happen. Well, my suggestion would be cut the line, leave the line hang out of its mouth. That would be my suggestion. And then I am going to, if it's me, I'm going to reach down in there and I'm going to find it. You know, I've done that a bunch. If the fish is big enough that you're weighing it in, it has a big enough mouth, I can put my hand all the way in its stomach. So we will go down for it. If that's the case, I need you to take a video. You reel it in, right? You're fighting the fish. You get it up. It swallowed the hook. I need you to take a video of the hook in the fish's mouth with it swallowed. Cut the line. Do everything you can to cover yourself. Because if there becomes a problem, make sure you have it on video. You have pictures. You have everything. If it becomes a problem, I'm going to need some kind of proof, right? So that was a good question, Daniel. I'd never thought of that. If that happens, leave the hook in. Cut the line. I will retrieve the hook when you bring it, or Steve will retrieve the hook when you bring it, if it's retrievable, but a video, some pictures, whatever you got. So it's going to be a lot of work for us. We know this, but we are super excited for this. Like I said, I've talked to some of the board members. They're jacked about it too. Only takes 2/3 of the board to vote yes, and we got those. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It can make a metal detector go off. I understand what you're saying. So if that were to happen, take a video of the fish on your line still. It swallowed the hook, right? Take a big video of you with the fish and with the hook in its throat, with it still connected to your pole. Cut the line on video and then bring it in, and obviously we'll make a determining factor there. If we have to, we'll keep it alive in Steve's tank. We'll have somebody come and x-ray it. So if it's that big of a fish, if it's a 30 plus, we'll keep it in Steve's tank. We'll have it x-rayed to make sure it doesn't have weights in it. So outside of that, are there any questions? Oh, Spencer, I didn't even see you, man. Not Spencer Griffith, a different one. Somebody on YouTube. So, any questions, any comments, any concerns? Let's hear them. We're thrilled. I mean, what are we? Just about a month and a week away from, not a month and a week away. We're about 2 weeks away from kicking off at Gallipolis. And I am jacked. By the way, Gallipolis, we do have the skipjack orders coming in. I've already let the guy know how many we need. If you guys need skipjack for Gallipolis, they're $5 a fish. Shoot me a message. Let me know how many you need. I'm giving them to him. He'll bring them up here. You'll pick them up at the Quality Inn in Gallipolis. Aunt Pam made it in. Hi, Aunt Pam. You guys should see her boat. She's been working her tail off doing her boat. She sent me some pictures of it yesterday. It looks awesome. So I know this is not our normal hour and a half long podcast on Thursdays. This was just strictly informational about what we got coming up. Guys, if you still want to get into Gallipolis, you can. Let me know. I'll add you to the list. If you want to show up at the captain's meeting and sign up for Gallipolis, I ordered extra shirts. You're more than welcome to do that. It just costs $5 extra to do it there in person. One other thing, for your T-shirts, make sure you bring cash. It's cash only for the T-shirts because that money is going right back in and getting paid out at the end of the day when the tournament's over. So, outside of that, Riley said, is my name on the list yet? Are you talking about Gallipolis or Sandusky, Riley? So, let's see what Riley's got to say here. Any other questions, any comments, any concerns? Anybody want to know anything specific? Both. You're on Gallipolis. The registration for the Sandusky, the King of the Bay event, I'm hoping to open it tonight. It may be open tomorrow. But, like I said, I want to fish the Hoover one. Can you send info? Ron, I'm going to type in here where you need to go to see all of our events. Actually, when I comment on this, it's going to show up. You'll see the Mid-Ohio logo. Just click on the Mid-Ohio. Yak Shore, this year, my biggest catfish is like 3 pounds. I've only been fishing one time. We caught a bunch of channel cats. I've only been fishing, like I said, one time. My boat's still getting worked on, so we have not. But if you click on that where it says Mid-Ohio Catfish Tournament Trail, right here, that will take you over so you can see all the info about our events. Go fishing. We want to see another sea turtle. Oh, I want to catch another sea turtle. So, I think that's about all I got for you guys. So, like I said, once registration opens, I'll post it on the Mid Ohio page. I'll share it on my page. I'm sure 1,000 people will share it out. You guys will get to see it. If at any time you're wondering if registration's open or not, just feel free to send me a message on the Mid Ohio Catfishing Tournament Trail Facebook page, and we will get you guys all the information you need. I'm going to get off here, and I am going to start working on that. That's what I'm going to do. Man, that one I got was my first one of the year, and you won't beat it. Daniel, if you guys didn't know, Daniel Jackson just caught a 105-pounder in Arkansas. Or was that Missouri? Can you register after it starts? No. Registration for the Sandusky event is cut off at, I think we're cutting it off on May 10th. Then the event will start on May 15th. So, no. After it's cut off, there are no registrations. You have to be registered by the end of the tournament. Or by the end of the registration. So, any other questions? Any other comments? Any other concerns? I'm going to play the exit video here. If you guys have any questions, post them. I'll answer them when I come back.
Well, grab your boat and boat. We're heading for fishing home. Somewhere in the state of Ohio. You may fish in Sandusky, but we ain't gonna count no money. It's the Mid Ohio Catfish Tournament Trail. You may drag out to Lake Dillon. It depends on how you're feeling. It's the Mid Ohio Catfish Tournament Trail. It don't cost much to enter. You may just be winning. At the Mid Ohio Catfish Tournament Trail. At the Mid Ohio Catfish Tournament Trail.
I thought.
Come on down and join us, you hear?
All right. There were no questions. Guys, as always, this is the Mid Ohio Catfishing Podcast. This was more of an information podcast. I'm your host, Corey Jeffers. We can't wait to see you guys on the water. Take care, and we'll see you soon.